I loved these first 2 episodes. It took me maybe a couple minutes to get into the animation. It looks very much like a comic book, very stylish, but once I got used to that slower frame rate, I was pulled in. Marvel is killing it when it comes to animation lately. X-Men 97 was an excellent series, and so far this series is off to a great start. And it's kind of proving that sometimes animation is actually better than the live action. Let's discuss your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. If your first thought when this show starts is the Spider-Verse movies from Sony, then you'd be thinking an awful lot like me, and great minds do think alike. I think it's impossible not to make that comparison, but I think this show definitely has its own DNA, and apart from having trendy, low frame rate animation, it's very much doing its own thing. These first 2 episodes waste no time thrusting you into an exciting world with an excellent voice cast and downright impressive writing. I love how this series is taking place in a world that is very much occupied by other heroes. This is not just Spider-Man's New York City. This is a New York City belonging to the Marvel universe, and that is really awesome. And it kind of reminded me of the 90s series in that regard. The first episode had a really awesome cameo and fight scene not long into its runtime, and it really set the tone for what kind of a show you can expect. You're going to be seeing other Marvel characters in this series, and one thing that I really appreciated about it is that these characters they don't feel exactly like the MCU characters, and I do think that that is a smart choice, because if it would have been like, oh, okay, that's Robert Downey Jr., or that's Chris Hemsworth, and that's Chris Evans, it just would have been boring. It would have been like, well, I can just watch the live action movies. Why are we just pushing more of that? I like this fresh feeling to the cast. It gives you a more reinvented sense of the show. I will say I do think that Peter does have a bit of a Tom Holland quality, but not too much, and I don't think that's a bad thing either way, because that is a near perfect portrayal of the character, and it's mostly just, I think, his mannerisms that reminded me of Tom Holland. And actually, I was thinking a bit of Marissa Tomei when I saw Aunt May in this series, because they're going with a younger Aunt May, and that's kind of like Marissa Tomei as well. But other than that, everything feels like its own total separate thing from the MCU. I know there is some of the usual controversy going around on the internet regarding some of the choices in this series. You'll know those problems when you see it, and if that is something that is going to bother you enough to make a scene and just go on the internet and spew a bunch of nonsense, well, then you're probably not going to like this channel. Just saying. Second episode had a really awesome ending, by the way. I was dumbfounded, and I cannot wait for the third episode. That cliffhanger ending, it just really made me sit there like, okay, wow, this is awesome. This is something special. I'm being intentionally vague, by the way, and that is because I don't want to do spoilers, and also because there are some really fun twists and turns just in these first 2 episodes, and I want you guys to experience those twists and turns firsthand by yourself, not coming from someone like me. Anyway, I don't want to drag this video out because this is just my early impressions of these first 2 episodes. Not enough has happened for me to be giving a review to this series, but I am really, really liking it. I was sitting there with a big smile the entire time. I think now I want to watch the Spider-Verse movies again because I'm just craving it, and I know I'm going to have to wait a week to get the next episode, I think. So I'm just really pulled in. I think this is a great series. If you're into the animated stuff, or even if you're not, if you just are a fan of Marvel, this is a show that is worth checking out for sure. Have you checked this show out yet? If not, I recommend it. It is not a kiddie feeling show. It is kid appropriate, but it does not specifically feel like it was aimed at kids. This is something that adults can enjoy. Put your thoughts on these first 2 episodes in the comments and let me know. Are you excited? What are you loving about it? Try to keep the comments classy, but I'm not going to hold you guys to too high of a standard. I have seen plenty of the web. Did you like this video? If you did, please hit the like button. And if you want to hear more from me, subscribe to this channel. Later.